Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Steffy tells Finn about her plans, and Ridge gives Taylor a thoughtful present as a surprise. Ridge informs Taylor that he doesn't want to discuss Hope, Carter, or Brooke while pouring them some bubbly at the Forrester estate. The woman in front of him has always meant a lot to him and continues to do so. He wants to talk about her. They raise a toast. Taylor feels like he's planning something. Ridge acknowledges that he has a plan for them. Taylor wants to spend time with him alone. Setting down his drink, Ridge pulls out a bag of clothes. It's the final Forrester original, he explains. When they fired him from the company, he was working on it. If she wore it tonight, he would feel honored. He wants to let her know how much she means to him and make this evening about her and her alone. Hope discusses Zen's designs with Brooke at Forrester, but her mother is preoccupied with thoughts of Ridge and whether he is with Taylor. Hope apologizes profusely to her mother. Ridge's sudden pivot to Taylor, according to Brooke, hurts. Her words didn't seem to have any effect. He wants to be with Taylor right now. Not me. Brooke Hope B&B. Finn and Steffy have a kiss in front of the fireplace at the Cliff home. As they confirm that they have the place to themselves, he tells her that he has been considering this all day. Steffy proceeds to pour the wine she has for them. When he pulled in, Finn asked who was leaving. She claims that it was the individual who would assist her in regaining Forrester. When Finn inquires about her activities, Steffy responds that Justin is taking too long to respond. Now they must take action. They discuss how difficult the takeover has been for Ridge and Eric. Finn inquires about her strategy. Hope and Carter won't see it coming, she adds, and by the time they do, it will be too late. The woman who drove away is the most well-known perfumer in Paris, Steffy informs Finn. Daphne Rose is likewise stunning and alluring. She may entice Carter Walton or any other man. His partnership with Hope will come to an end if he falls under her influence. B&B with Finn. Steffy. Hope informs Brooke at Forrester that Ridge is attempting to make her feel bad about not abandoning her and Carter. The Forresters are mistaken in their belief that they know what is best for the business. Brooke doesn't appear to be convinced. Hope begins her proposal by outlining Carter's goals and how the brand should be developed. It doesn't feel right not to have Ridge and Eric involved, Brooke explains. Hope claims that Ridge's treatment of her is wrong. If Taylor wasn't the lady he had always desired, Brooke sobs that he wouldn't be with her. When Taylor descends the stairs in the gown at the Forrester estate, Ridge congratulates her on her beauty. She adds he looks really dapper and is also dressed up. Ridge claims that dinner is about ready, but he must acknowledge that he did not prepare it himself. He remarks that it's good to see her smile as Taylor chuckles. Every day, her heart becomes better. Looking at a picture of Stephanie at the Cliff house, Steffy informs Finn that she learned how to protect her family from the best. Finn regrets not getting to know her. When he likens her to her grandma, Steffy interprets it as a compliment. They discuss her strategy for Daphne to target Carter. The alliance with Hope will be done and the control over the corporation will be over. Brooke, Carter, and Hope won't know what happened to them. Brooke and Hope argue at Forrester about Ridge and the Forrester leaving because Carter wants to completely change the course of their business. Carter's full-speed forward motion is like putting gasoline on a fire, according to Brooke. Hope believes that huge risks can lead to big rewards. Although they are currently split, Brooke wants all of the people who care about the business to be involved. Neither Forrester Creations nor anybody else will benefit from that. According to Hope, the business has survived the crisis and is proceeding regardless of the Forresters. Her mother wants to share in the excitement, doesn't she? According to Brooke, she finds it difficult to become overly enthusiastic or driven. Because Ridge is with Taylor now, thinks Hope. While enjoying their catered meal at the Forrester mansion, Taylor and Ridge talk about Donna and Eric's outing. So, we really are alone, Taylor observes. Ridge raises a glass to Taylor and expresses gratitude for sharing supper with him and providing him with such wonderful children. They grasp hands and smile as he says, because it was meant to be. He's so happy she's home. Finn and Steffy share a kiss at the cliff home. Will her mother be joining them tonight? He asks. Taylor informs Steffy over the phone that her father treated her to a fantastic evening as a surprise. Sorry to interrupt, Steffy. She thinks that tonight will fulfill all of her dreams. Steffy gives Finn an update as they sign off. They give each other hugs and kisses and agree it sounds promising. Taylor tells Ridge at the mansion about her conversation with Steffy, who was thrilled about their plans. She's always been their biggest supporter, Ridge says. Taylor claims that despite everything they've been through recently, something positive has emerged. Their kid expressed her hope that tonight will fulfill all of her dreams. Ridge takes Taylor's hand and stands up. They begin to embrace and dance slowly. Brooke at Forrester questions how this happened, she and Ridge being separated, Taylor in his arms rather than her. Brooke bed and breakfast. Ridge and Taylor separate at the mansion as they dance, exchange smiles, look into each other's eyes intently, and then plant a kiss. Although Brooke Logan had always been a strong and passionate woman, she felt as like her heart was breaking into a million irreversible pieces as she sat by herself in the expansive but strangely quiet living room of her home. Her thoughts were racing with memories and uncertainties as she gazed blankly at the fireplace's flickering flames. Once again, Ridge Forrester, her fate, her weakness, and her constant cause of heartache, had caused her to reevaluate all she believed to be true about love, devotion, and her role in his life. Each time the cycle occurred, the anguish felt fresh, intense, and overwhelming even though it was achingly familiar. Brooke and Ridge had been trapped in a vicious and intoxicating emotional cycle for decades. Despite being intense and soul-deep, their love story was paradoxical since it was characterized by treachery, miscommunications, and an inability to truly commit to one another without being torn apart by outside influences. Brooke had always been certain that they were connected and that their love was strong enough to endure any hardship. However, the storms became more intense and the fissures in its foundation became more noticeable as the years passed. Brooke had to face the heartbreaking prospect that their love might not be sufficient after all, as Ridge resumed his tendency to distance himself and turn toward Taylor Hayes. The breaking point for Brooke. This time, a major misunderstanding or a single act of treachery did not lead their relationship to fall apart. Rather, it was the result of innumerable moments of uncertainty, disillusionment, and Ridge's incapacity to make an unambiguous decision regarding her. Against all difficulties, Brooke had defended her position in Ridge's life and fought for their love for years. She had put up with Taylor's persistent presence as the other woman, the condemnation of the Forrester family, and even Ridge's own indecisiveness. However, every reconciliation was accompanied by the nagging worry that history would soon repeat itself. A furious dispute concerning Ridge and Taylor's children, Steffy and Thomas, was the tipping point. Knowing how intensely protective Ridge was of his family, Brooke had tried to be compassionate, but she was only as patient as she could be. She couldn't watch while Ridge ignored Thomas's deceptive actions or allow Steffy's barely concealed contempt for her to continue. "You always stand up for them, Ridge," Brooke had remarked, her voice shaking with rage. "You always side with them, regardless of what they do or how wrong they are. How about me? When will I be able to take precedence in your life?" She was deeply hurt by Ridge's response, even if it was expected. "Logan, they're my children. I can't simply leave them." "How about me?" Her voice broke as she responded. "Do you not believe that I have made sacrifices for you? For us? Before you realize that I'm worth fighting for as well, how much more must I give?" As usual, however, Ridge had backed off rather than provide the confidence she so sorely needed. He departed the house, taking refuge in the security of their shared past and the comforting familiarity of Taylor's comprehension. Brooke was all too familiar with the pattern, and each time it occurred, she felt even more isolated and demoralized. Ridge repeats. Ridge's attraction to Taylor stemmed from both unresolved emotions and nostalgia. Taylor was a symbol of a more innocent era, a time when he was not as troubled by the issues of loyalty and treachery. When the storms with Brooke became too strong, he could turn to her as a safe haven. However, a part of him was unable to let go of Brooke even as he sought safety with Taylor. Ridge's main defect had always been his unwillingness to totally commit to one woman. Although his heart frequently returned to Brooke, his guilt and sense of duty toward Taylor and their kids kept him from completely putting an end to that phase of his life. He loved Brooke and Taylor in different ways. Ridge experienced the well-known twinge of comfort and conflict as he sipped tea in Taylor's comfortable living room while listening to her calming voice. Ever the nurturer, Taylor didn't press him for clarification or insist that he pick her. Rather, she merely offered her understanding, her presence, and her silent hope that he might finally stay this time. However, Ridge was caught between the allure of two women who stood for two very different aspects of his existence, and his mind was a battlefield. Fire, passion, and an unbreakable bond that had endured throughout time were all present with Brooke. Stability, history, and the prospect of a life free from the unrelenting drama that seemed to follow Brooke everywhere were all present with Taylor. Brooke's resolution. Upon returning to her estate, Brooke wiped away her tears and inhaled deeply. She was sick of waiting for Ridge to pick her and prove her value, sick of feeling like a victim in her own tale. For the first time in years, she started to think about what it might be like to live without him, to not have to continually beg for his affection or prove herself worthy of being his first pick. She muttered to herself, "I can't keep doing this," in a voice that was both dejected and determined. "This is not fair to me." As Brooke started to consider the trends in her relationship with Ridge, she realized that although their love was sincere and profound, it was also seriously flawed. She came to the realization that she had lost sight of herself since she had devoted so much of her life to clinging to him. The tension between the three of them boiled over as Ridge kept switching between Brooke and Taylor. Brooke confronted Ridge in front of everyone during a family get-together at Forrester Creations, her feelings unadulterated and unrestrained. Her voice trembled with a mixture of despair and rage as she replied, "Ridge, you can't keep doing this to me. You can't keep turning to Taylor whenever our relationship becomes difficult. Both she and I are not treated fairly." Standing close by, Taylor had her own wave of feelings, shame, annoyance, and a residual hope that Ridge would finally pick her. However, after hearing Brooke's passionate appeal, she couldn't help but question whether the cycle would ever really come to a stop. Caught in the midst, Ridge found it difficult to reply. Although he had a great deal of affection for both women, his inability to make a decision simply made their suffering worse. Finally, with a voice full of sadness, he replied, "I'm sorry. I never intended to cause harm to either of you. I simply don't know how to make a decision." The aftermath. In the days that followed, Brooke made a startling decision. She chose to distance herself from Ridge and put her own needs first. Leaning on her sisters for support, she pushed herself into her work at Forrester Creations and started to rediscover the power and independence that had always been a part of her. Ridge, meanwhile, was struggling with the fallout from his deeds. Even though Taylor stayed by his side, he couldn't get rid of the sensation that he had lost something priceless since his unwillingness to commit had cost him the love of his life. The result was bittersweet for Taylor. She had always hoped Ridge would pick her, but she couldn't deny that Brooke still had a special place in his heart. She started to wonder if she could really be content with a man whose love was so conflicted. A fresh start? Brooke discovered a feeling of purpose and clarity that had escaped her for years as she started to reconstruct her life. She came to see that neither Ridge's love nor anybody else's acceptance determined her value. She felt liberated for the first time in a long time, free to be herself, free to pursue new opportunities, free to let go of a love that had hurt her so profoundly. Additionally, Brooke's path served as a potent reminder that sometimes the most significant love story is the one you have with yourself, even as Ridge and Taylor face their own uncertain future. Steffy and Finn get romantic after Ridge gives Taylor a gift, and Brooke believes Ridge always wanted Taylor. Taylor and Ridge spend time alone while Daphne and Steffy plan their ruin. Hope and Carter make Daphne an offer. At Eric's place, Ridge offers Taylor champagne and claims he doesn't want to discuss Brooke, Hope, or Carter. He wishes to discuss Taylor. She is very important to him. He informs her he's giving her the final Forrester original gown as they exchange smiles. She puts it on and spins him around after he receives it. She mentions that he put on a suit, and he is speechless at how stunning she is. He wonders if he's sexy after she calls him debonair. She remarks, that goes without saying, and observes that he has planned a lovely dinner for them. I agree to receive tailored advertisements and emails. Taylor wears a brand new FC dress. Ridge and all of the changes that are occurring are on her mind. Although she recognizes that he felt hurt, she questions whether he is with Taylor and is offended that he turned to her so quickly. She is aware that he desires Taylor. Hope believes that she is merely talking about her guilt when she asks whether she should continue working at FC. That's how Ridge is making her feel. She wants her mother to be on board and promotes Carter's suggestions for expanding the brand. Without Ridge, Brooke claims it doesn't feel right. Ridge is being harsh, according to Hope. Brooke concurs, but he questions whether he truly desired Taylor during their time together. Hope keeps encouraging her mother. Although Brooke acknowledges that she appreciates Carter's work, she wishes the others were more active in the business. I don't believe that's beneficial for anyone, particularly Forrester Creations, she says. With or without them, the company is still standing and moving forward, Hope says with a smile. Brooke finds it difficult to feel aroused. He acknowledges that he has been thinking about this all day after Finn and Steffy make out at home. The entire house is theirs alone. While they wait for dinner, she buys them some wine and they continue kissing. When he gets home, he remarks that a car was leaving and Steffy tells him about her. To get Forrester back, she enlists the aid of someone. Her plan appeals to him. Steffy claims that because she knows Daphne can entice any male, she is relying on her to do her magic. Specifically, Carter. With this strategy, she feels like she's channeling Stephanie. They will regain control once Carter understands what is happening. Ridge and Taylor are eating at Eric's again when he mentions that Donna and Eric are watching a movie. They are all by themselves. He thanks her for their wonderful kids, and they raise a glass to her beauty. He believes that this was meant to be because they hold hands. Steffy and Finn contemplate dinner from the Cliff House. Taylor informs her that she is enjoying a romantic evening with Ridge when she calls her mother to ask if she will be coming back for dinner. Finn and Steffy find it encouraging that they disconnect. They embrace and kiss. Taylor and Ridge refer to Steffy as their strongest supporter back at Eric's. Taylor believes that something positive has emerged from their difficulties. She never imagined this would occur. They stand up, dance a little, and then kiss each other. Although there had always been a lot of tension in the Forrester universe, the drama reached a record level as new characters joined the cast and established ones faced emotional challenges they had never faced before. Taylor Hayes, the perpetual peacemaker caught between work ethics and personal relationships, Daphne Loran, a woman with an unquenchable appetite, and Luna Nozawa, a confused designer attempting to find her footing in the face of manipulation, were at the center of this frenzy. Their apparently different lives were about to come together in unexpected ways, rocking the glitzy world of Forrester Creations and beyond. The seduction of Daphne. As a queen in charge of the game, Daphne Loran had always viewed life as a chessboard. But her most audacious action to date was a premeditated seduction directed at Eric Forrester. The renowned designer, who had always been strong and creative, had recently become more fragile than ever as he struggled with age and lamented the apparent deterioration in his health. Daphne saw a chance to influence one of the most influential people at Forrester Creations in addition to securing her place there. At first, Daphne took a gentle approach. She pretended to be Eric's confidant and someone who actually cared about his welfare in order to get involved in his life. She would bring him his preferred teas, pay close attention when he talked about his heyday, and even give him uninvited suggestions on how to continue his legacy. One evening, as they were sitting in his study, Daphne exclaimed, "You've built something extraordinary, Eric," in a tone full of praise. However, the greatest designers leave behind more than just their name, they also leave behind apprentices who will continue to carry their vision forward. For you, I could be that. Swayed by her charm and charmed by her attentiveness, Eric started to relax. Eric began to doubt his own emotions as a result of Daphne's strategic touches, such as her hand resting on his arm and her mournful grin when their eyes locked. Was this a sincere relationship or something far more sinister? Daphne didn't foresee the emotional toll her seduction would have on her, though. Beneath her ambitious exterior was a woman who yearned for love and approval, two things she wanted to gain from Eric's respect. Daphne, however, was in perilous terrain as the distinction between manipulation and real emotion became hazy, endangering not just her goals but possibly her identity. The temptation of Luna. Luna Nozawa was battling her own inner demons as Daphne planned her next move. Luna had felt imprisoned in a golden cage ever since Bill Spencer had arranged her escape from prison. Unspoken commitment was expected in exchange for Bill's assistance, and his subdued yet oppressive presence made it obvious that her freedom wasn't totally her own. Bill made both personal and professional advances. By giving Luna a stage on which to present her creations, he helped her get in front of powerful customers and raise money for her next collections. However, each act of kindness had a sinister undertone that served as a reminder that Bill's interest in her wasn't entirely selfless. One evening, as they were eating at a posh restaurant, Bill remarked, "You're brilliant, Luna. You need someone who knows how to play the game, but you have the talent and the vision. Nothing is impossible for you if I'm on your side." Although the temptation of achievement was irresistible, Luna couldn't get rid of the thought that supporting Bill would cost her far more than her freedom. Seeking advice, she confided in Steffy Forrester. Luna said in a dejected tone, "Steffy, I don't know what to do. I feel like Bill now owns a piece of me, even though he has given me so much. Additionally, I'm afraid of what might occur if I attempt to distance myself." Ever the realist, Steffy didn't hold back. She cautioned, "Bill never does a favor without expecting something in return. It will only grow worse if you allow him to control you now. No matter how difficult it is, you must figure out how to stand alone." However, escaping Bill was not as simple as it seemed. His magnetism and power were both enticing and frightening, and Luna found herself pulled to him in ways she couldn't quite comprehend. There was a strong temptation to give in and allow Bill to shape her destiny. This choice would determine not just her professional path, but also who she was. The Taylor Dilemma. Taylor Hayes found herself at a moral juncture as Daphne and Luna overcame their separate obstacles. Taylor had devoted her life to assisting people as a therapist, offering them wise and compassionate guidance through their challenges. However, her most recent case presented a problem that put her personal beliefs and professional ethics to the test. Desperate for clarity as she struggled with her complex connection with Bill, Luna had sought counseling from Taylor. Despite her long-standing resentment of the man who had caused her family so much suffering, Taylor, ever the empath, consented to assist. Luna talked candidly about her dreams, her anxieties, and the constant pressure to live up to Bill's expectations during their meetings. Taylor paid close attention while providing words of support and advice on how to take back her autonomy. One afternoon, Taylor said to her in a forceful but comforting manner, "Luna, you have the ability to define your own path. Avoid feeling as though you owe someone your future. You underestimate your strength." However, Taylor's counsel wasn't entirely objective. Her perspective was influenced by her past relationship with Bill, and she couldn't help but perceive Luna's difficulties as a continuation of her own conflicts with the guy who had previously plagued her family. Her advice consequently frequently crossed into personal domain, making it difficult to distinguish between a therapist and an advocate. Concerned about the consequences of her involvement, Steffi confronted her mother after learning that Taylor was counseling Luna. Steffi replied, "Mom, you're putting yourself in a dangerous position," in a worried yet irritated tone. "You're expected to maintain objectivity, but it's obvious that this goes beyond simply supporting Luna. It's about making amends with Bill on your own terms." Although Taylor objected to the charge, she was powerless to refute Steffi's veracity. Despite her good intentions, her acts were motivated by a desire to take some sort of revenge on Bill and shield Luna from the same suffering she had experienced. These three women's lives got more and more entwined as they traveled their own paths. Because of her ambition for power, Daphne ran afoul of Eric's family, who saw her as a danger to his reputation. Bill, who wasn't prepared to give up his authority easily, was at odds with Luna because of her struggle to establish her independence. Additionally, Taylor's friendship with Luna put her in the middle of a scandal that could ruin both her career and her relationships with her loved ones. Their paths crossed at Forrester Creations during a high-stakes fashion presentation to commemorate the brand's most recent collection. As long-suppressed frustrations surfaced, the glamorous and exciting evening swiftly turned chaotic. After Daphne's attempts to get close to Eric were discovered, she got into a heated argument with Ridge and Steffy. With the support of Taylor's attorney, Luna openly turned down Bill's attempts and stated her desire to do it alone. And Taylor, caught in the crossfire, had to explain her actions as she was surrounded by accusations of manipulation and favoritism. Everyone was ultimately left reeling from the night, their futures unknown and their relationships shattered. Their tales serve as a sobering reminder of the complexities of ambition, love, and morality in the high-stakes world of Forrester Creations. Daphne, Luna, and Taylor all had to deal with the fallout from their decisions. Power, temptation, and moral dilemma are all interwoven in this story to create a complex narrative that examines the intertwined lives of Daphne, Luna, and Taylor. If you want to change or add anything, let me know.